Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you are tuning in to the Cleveland BCG podcast. That stands for Browns, Cavs, and Guardians. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight's episode is about the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are struggling right now. So we're going to do two games tonight because we have a game tomorrow. I'm recording this on Tuesday night, the 14th. We have another game tomorrow night in, was it? It's not Portland. Is it Portland? Yeah, Portland Trail Blazers. We play tomorrow. All right, so let's go back to Saturday's game where we visited the Golden State Warriors. This was our second meeting for the season and the last meeting of the season, unless, of course, we see them in the playoffs. And that would only happen if we both go to the finals. So, wouldn't that be nice? To be going to the finals again. All right. Right now, we got a lot more things to worry about and to fix before we ever get there. But let's talk about Saturday's game. Saturday's game was kind of weird to watch to me. And let me know what you guys think. But it was kind of boring. I normally, watching the Cavs play the Warriors is like watching the Browns play the Steelers. So I'm usually, a little bit more on edge, a little bit more anxiety, a little bit more, into the game. But this one, it was a weird game because, and I'll be honest with you, like the way, as I'm watching the game, I'd look at the score and I'd go, really, we're ahead? Because it didn't feel like we were ahead. It didn't feel like we were playing great. We weren't playing bad. It just didn't feel like we were playing great. And they were, hitting three after three after three, it felt like. And so I'd look at the score and I'd go, wow, we're still ahead. All right, cool. Okay, we're still ahead. But there was just something missing. It just wasn't, it was boring. It was boring. Let's run through some stats. So our game leader for points, Karis LeVert. He had 22 points. He was 8 of 18 from field goal range, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. As far as rebounds goes, it was Max Strus, our leader, 8 rebounds, 7 defensive, 1 offensive. And assists was Donovan Mitchell, 5 assists. And he played for 36 minutes. Steph Curry, just to give you a little idea, had a high of 30 points. He was 9 of 24 from field goal range and 8 of 8 from free throw line. He did struggle a little bit with the three-pointers at times, at least in the beginning. Chris Paul had a high of 9 assists. And Kevin, I shouldn't say that's Kevin. I just said it. I apologize. I don't know. It's Looney is his last name. He had a high of 13 rebounds, 10 defensive, 3 offensive. And I don't normally go into the opponent's leaders, but there's a big discrepancy there, and we won the game, right? So our leader in points was 22, theirs is 30. Rebounds, we got 8, they got 13. Assists, we have 5, they have 9. So we're going to see how this plays out when we get into how our bench played. Now, LeVert, remember, comes off the bench. So none of our starting 5 was the point leader for this night. Okay, so let's go into this and let's see what's up here. So our starters that night were our normal five: Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Strus. We will start with Donovan Mitchell, who had 21 points. So he was only 1 point off of the, the game leader in points, which is LeVert. And Donovan has been doing, he's been averaging like 30 points a game. So that's not a knock on Donovan. So Donovan had 21 points in 36 minutes that he played. He was 7 of 22 from field goal range, 2 of 6 from 3-point range, 5 of 6 from the line. He had a total of 7 rebounds, 6 defensive, 1 offensive. He had 5 assists. Like I said, he was the leader in assists for our team. He had 2 steals and 1 block. Not bad, but he's having trouble with the 3-pointers. The whole team is. The whole team is having trouble with shots falling. We're having trouble with layups. Okay? It's really kind of crazy what's going on right now. Next, we had 2 people at 19 points, and that was Mobley and Darius Garland. Darius played for 36 minutes. He was 6 of 13 from field goal range. He was 3 for 5 from 3-point range, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. He had a total of 6 rebounds, 4 defensive, 2 offensive. He had 4 assists and 5 steals. Oh, he had 5 steals. Well, okay. Do you ever do that? Like you're watching a game and then you look at stats and you're like, really? He had 5 steals? Like I said, it wasn't an exciting game. And I was probably also taken out of it a little bit because of uh, Draymond Green, who can't seem to be quiet, to put it nicely, and he got ejected in the game because he had 2 technicals. Um, and here's what's funny is I watch him on the basketball court, and I'm like, you are so annoying to me. I can only imagine playing against him because he's annoying when I'm watching him through the TV. Now, if you root for Golden State, I'm sure he's not annoying at all. I'm sure you love him. Hence the crowd being so excited when he gets, riled up, as he was on Saturday night. Um, when I listened to, there was one day that I stumbled upon his podcast, and I'll be honest with you, because of the way he is on the court, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan at all, actually. No offense. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. Like I said, just from what I see on the court, I've never met the guy. I've never seen the guy in person. I've never been in the same building, right? So I've never even been in a building that he's playing basketball in. So I have no idea what he's really like as a person. But I got to tell you, I stumbled upon his podcast one day, and I don't even remember. It was a while ago. I don't remember who he was interviewing, but he was such a nice guy. I really enjoyed listening to the podcast, and I even thought maybe I'll revisit his podcast again because it was really good. It was entertaining. Um, and I know I just went off on a tangent, but he, to me, I get annoyed when people um, are like that uh, on the court, where they won't be quiet. It's like when I watch Live PD, or what is now OP Live, and somebody will not be quiet when they've been stopped for a ticket or whatever the case is. They won't be quiet, and it's like just close your mouth for a little bit and just be quiet for a little bit. So it's maybe that's just one of my things, but um, Anyway, so it surprises me, long story short, it surprises me that I missed, or that I don't remember, not that I missed, but I don't remember that Darius had 5 steals, right? Because this kind of stuff takes you out of the ball game. And maybe that was part of the reason I thought it was boring, because I was just annoyed with this whole spectacle of what was going on between these guys, and him being so riled up, and then he gets the fans riled up, and that annoys me. And so it's just a personal thing. Like I said, I listen to the guy's podcast, and he seems like a really cool dude. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back. Long story short, it surprises me that Darius had 5 steals. I'm glad he did, but it surprises me. All right, next was Evan Mobley. He also had 19 points. He played for 31 minutes. He was 6 of 10 from field goal range. He tried 1 3-pointer he missed. He was 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Very glad to see that, because there are nights he seems to be either hot or cold with free throws. I don't know why, but he seems to be. Um, he was obviously hot this night, 7 of 7. He had a total of only 5 rebounds, 4 defensive, 1 offensive. He had 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Next was Max Strus. He had 16 points, which that was a good showing for Max. I'm happy to see that. He played for 33 minutes. He was 6 of 9 from field goal range, 2 of 3 from 3-point range. He was perfect from the line, 2 of 2. Like I said, he was our rebound leader with 8 total, 7 defensive, 1 offensive. He had 4 assists, 1 steal. Next, we had Jared Allen. He had 12 points in 28 minutes. He was 2 of 6 from field goal range. He had no 3-pointers. He was 8 of 9 from free throw line. And what does that tell you? So here, Mobley was at the line 7 times. Jared Allen was at the line 9 times. That means they were going towards the basket. That's a good thing. Okay? That's a very good thing. We're going to see what the difference was between Saturday's game and last night's game. Okay, so back to Jared. He had a total of 5 rebounds, 3 offensive, which I'm glad to see, and 2 defensive. He had 4 assists, no steals, no blocks. Coming off the bench, Levert, who was our high scorer of the game, one more than Mitchell. He had 22 points during his 36 minutes. He played the same amount of minutes as Garland and Mitchell. He was 8 of 18 from field goal range, 2 of 7 from 3-point range. He was 4 of 5 from the line. He had a total of 5 rebounds, 2 offensive, 3 defensive. He had 3 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. That's a good night for Karras. That's a strong night. That's a good night. We also had Dean Wade, who played for 17 minutes and had 8 points. He was 2 of 4 from field goal range, 2 of 4 from 3-point range, and he was perfect from the line, 2 for 2. He had 7 rebounds, all defensive. He had no assists, no steals, no blocks. Towards the end, no, let me go back here. Niang. Niang played 19 minutes. Okay? 19 minutes, Niang. Now, we got Niang from the Sixers because he was really good at shooting from the corner, right? He used to just post up in the corner. They'd get the ball to him. He'd shoot it. Bing. He played for 19 minutes. He was 0-4 from field goal range, 0-4 from the 3-point line. He had a total of 2 rebounds, 1 offensive, 1 defensive. He had 1 assist. That's it. He played 19 minutes. I know he is better than that, but that is what he did on Saturday night. Okay? That's not good. It's not good at all. Other than that, Amani Bates went in for a minute. Tristan went in for 2 minutes. Jones went in for a minute. And Porter went in for 2 minutes. Um, Porter had 1 point. He was 1 of 6 from the free throw line, which is terrible. He should be much better from the free throw line. And he got there 3 times, I would imagine. I'm guessing he got there 3 times. If he was shooting a 2-pointer, could have been 2 3-pointers. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it wasn't really exciting. I mean, our starting five were all in double digits, so that was good. We had one guy off the bench who had double digits. But, there's no double doubles anywhere. It's just it was just boring. It was boring. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. I was just not enthused at all with the game. Okay. So let's do one other thing here. Let's look at team to team here. We were 43% from field goal range. They were 41.1. We were 36.7% from 3-point. I'm sorry. Let me back up. 43% from field goal range. They were 41%. We were 36.7 from the 3-point line. They were 34.2. 43 and 36 are not good. That's not good shooting. Things are not falling for us right now. I don't know what the issue is. They're getting open looks. That does not seem to be an issue. I don't think anybody's settling, if that makes sense. They're not settling down. I also saw on this night and on last night's game with the Kings that, although I will say it happened more on Saturday, they were like, Levert was right underneath the basket. I think it was Levert. Levert was right underneath the basket and he didn't take a shot. Could have been Strus. Didn't take the shot. He threw it out. Okay? Now, yes, we want to pass the ball more, right? But you're right there underneath the basket. You could have made 2 points. And we won the game, and it's okay. But why didn't you take the shot? Why didn't we take the shot? I'll take a sip of water, excuse me. So it's little things like that that are weird. Free throw line, we were 76.7%. Actually, we were exact to Golden State on that one. We were both 76.7. Rebounds, we had 45. They had 55. We had 11 offensive and 34 defensive. They had 15 offensive and 40 defensive. So they had 10 more rebounds than us. And we still won the game. So it turned out okay. But that's not good, right? Because they had 4 more second shots than we did when you're talking offensive rebounds. Assists, we had 23. They had 26. Steals, we had 13. They had 5. That's a great stat. I'll take that one every day. Blocks, we were 3 each. Total turnovers, we had a total of 11 turnovers. We had 8 points. They had 20 turnovers for 32 points. Okay? 32 points off of turnovers. 32 points off of turnovers. It's okay, we won the game. but 32 points over turnovers. We turned the ball over 32 times. I'm sorry, they turned the ball over 32 times. Sorry. I got myself up wrapped up there in the 32. They had a total of 20 turnovers, but they had 32 points off of turnovers. All right, let's get past that. Fast break points, we had 19, they had 15. I like that. Fast break points are always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Points in the paint, we had 50, they had 34. Now, that's a good thing for us because inside the paint, we weren't hitting from 3 point line. We were only 36.7%. So we moved into the paint, whereas they did not because they only shot 34 inside the paint. So that makes the difference for us as far as, points go. Fouls, we had 24, they had 29. They had 2 technical fouls. Both, of course, were on um, Draymond Green, the guy that wouldn't be quiet last night, Saturday. Largest lead we led them by 17 points. They only led us by 3 points at any one time. So I was very happy to see that we won both games against the Warriors. Like I said, the Warriors to me are like the Steelers to the Browns. You know what I mean? Like when you're talking the Cavs, the Warriors are the Steelers. When you're talking Browns, the Warriors are the Steelers. Okay. Now let's go to last night's game. And let me say that last night's game, there was a quote that I heard. I did not see it myself. So if I get it a little off, please forgive me. But there was a quote apparently from Donovan Mitchell that he said something about, I told you to check with me in 10 games. This is 10 games. We need to figure this shit out. That doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very good. And is the frustration with the coach? Is the frustration with the players? Is the frustration with the new players? Is it with the team in general? I don't know. You can read into it what you want. So we went into last night's game 4-5, and we went into Sacramento, and we lost to Sacramento 132 to 120. This was a game, and I was watching the game last night, and I fell asleep. I have a full-time job during the day, and this game, East Coast, it came on at 10 o'clock at night. So I was not able to stay awake for the entire game. I fell asleep. But I did wake up to find out that we had lost. So I went back tonight and I watched the game. We did not take care of the ball. We looked disinterested. We did not play like a team. I'll tell you who played like a team. Our second and third stringers played like a team in the last few minutes. They spread out. They worked the ball around, and they looked like they were actually they actually had a plan. They had a play drew up, right? And they were going to move the ball around, and they were going to work to the right shot. And if one didn't come, they were going to drive to the hoop. But you know what? When they drove to the hoop, there wasn't another 2 or 3 Cavs there, okay? Because they had spread it out. That's what our starters should have looked like, and the guys just off the bench should have looked like. But we didn't. We looked disorganized, uninterested. We didn't take care of the ball. There was a lack of urgency, and I love the Cavaliers. and I get really upset when I hear people um, diss them or criticize them, because I think there's a lot of times where they're criticized and they don't deserve it. I don't like when people criticize JB Bickerstaff, because if you look at his record, he has gotten better every single year that he has been here. Okay. I think JB Bickerstaff is a very good coach. I do question right now some of his plays, of how he is using the new guys, Struess and Niang. I question the lack of passing, and the sloppiness of the passing. It is not crisp passes. They are constantly being, and even if they're not stolen, even if it's not a steal, they're being knocked out of bounds by the other team, or maybe we get it back, but it's not a crisp. It's not. It's the ball didn't go where they wanted it to go. Right. For example, if Donovan is throwing the ball to Struess, and Donovan just kind of didn't give a good didn't take care of the ball, didn't give a good pass, it didn't get to Struess, right? Somebody else may have picked it up, or it may have gone out of bounds, etc. And I just use those two just because those are the first two that came to mind. I'm not saying it's the two of them that did it, but overall, as a team, we lack uh, ball handling right now, as far as passing, especially, and just in general ball handling. Because there's been a lot of times where we've lost the ball, and we just lose the ball because we've lost the ball. Not because of the opponent, it's because of us. So that's frustrating. Um, what else did I find frustrating tonight as I was watching the game? Um, just the melancholy with which we played that game. Just oh, and I knew I wanted to mention something else. Mobley is just he just he's definitely not taking the next step right now. He's definitely not. The first couple of games back where JA came back, I thought, okay, Mobley's getting into it, and he didn't have a bad game on Saturday, 19 points, like I mentioned, but he's just very melancholy, just not fighting on the boards, out of place underneath the basket. Um, he's missing a lot of easy shots under the basket. I mean, I know he's got opponents there, but still, muscle it up, dude. You're 7 foot. Muscle it in there. And he's not. And sometimes he's getting the tip in, and sometimes he's not. Sometimes he even tips it, tries to tip it in again, and he misses it, and they get the ball. It's very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating to watch. Um, and say what you want about Okoro, because a lot of people diss on him, but you know what? This team misses Okoro. This team misses Okoro, because Okoro hasn't been playing in this series. And when I say this series, the West Coast, because he's hurt. So he didn't play on Saturday, and he didn't play last night. And I got to tell you, that makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. It makes a big difference in defense, and it makes a big difference in offense. It really does. It makes a big difference in energy. And you know what else I noticed? Here's another thing I noticed. The bench, I used to love to watch the bench when somebody would hit a three-pointer, or when whatever happened. There was a steal, there was a block, there was a dunk, whatever happened. And our bench was so excited. These guys hardly even stand up to clap. Tristan does. Tristan's on his feet. But the other guys hardly even stand up to clap. If they do, that's a problem. That's a problem. All right, let's look at some stats here. I'm getting fired up here as I'm talking. Our game leaders for last night's loss, 132 to 120 to the Sacramento Kings. Donovan Mitchell had 22 points. He was 7 of 21 from field goal range. He was perfect from the free throw line, 4-4. Evan Mobley did have 12 rebounds. He was our rebound leader with 7 offensive and 5 defensive. That actually surprises me because as I was watching it, it didn't look that good. It really didn't seem to look that good. Darius Garland had 6 assists in his 34 minutes. Let's look at our scores here. Our other stats. We had a normal starting 5. We had Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Max Strus. They all were in double digits. Okay. Donovan Mitchell had the high of 22. He played for 38 minutes. He was 7 of 21 from field goal range, 4 of 9 from three-point range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 2 rebounds, both defensive. He had 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Max Strus had 19 points. He played for 34 minutes. He was 7 of 12 from field goal range, 5 of 9 from three-point range. He had no free throws. He had 5 rebounds, 2 offensive, 3 defensive, 4 assists, 1 steal. Mobley and Garland both had 16 points. Garland played 34 minutes. He was 5 of 14 from field goal range, 3 of 8 from three-point range, 3 of 4 from free throw line. He had a total of 3 rebounds, all defensive. And some of those, I'll be honest with you, some of those came when nobody else was around. No other Cavs players or anybody was around. He had 6 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. Which, the other night he had 5 steals. He had none. None last night. Next, like I said, was Mobley, also with 16 points. He played for 30 minutes. He was 8 of 14 from field goal range. He was 0 for 0 from three-point line. Didn't take any shots from there. And he never went to the free throw line. What does that tell you? He's not driving under the basket. He's not going to the basket with the ball. He's your big man. One of your big men. Why are you not driving to the basket? Why? Why? He was our leader in rebounds again. 12 total, 7 offensive, 5 defensive. I like that. I will give him that. 2 assists, 1 steal, no blocks. Next was Jared Allen. He had 12 points in 22 minutes. He was 5 of 6 from field goal range. He took no 3-pointers, which is not unusual. He was 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He had a total of 9 rebounds, 4 offensive, 5 defensive. He had 1 assist. No steals, no blocks. No blocks at all from anybody on our team except for Donovan Mitchell, and he had 1. 1 block. We had a total of 3 steals. Total. All right, coming off the bench, we Karis LeVert again. Karis is the guy off the bench. But even he didn't look, although he did pretty good. He had 21 points, 28 minutes. He was 7 of 13 field goal range, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He had a total of 3 rebounds, 1 offensive, 2 defensive. He had 1 assist, no steals, no blocks. He even didn't have his normal intensity, his normal excitement, his normal energy that he brings off the bench. He didn't have a bad game. I'm not saying it was terrible. Just wasn't his normal energy. Next was Niang, and Niang at least had some points this game. He had 12 in his 22 minutes. He was 5 of 7 from field goal range, 2 of 4 from 3-point range. He had a total of 1 rebound, which was defensive. He had 1 assist. No steals, no blocks. Next was Tristan Thompson. He had 2 points. He played a total of 13 minutes. He was 1 for 1 from field goal range. He had 1 rebound, which was defensive. That's it. No steals, no blocks. That's terrible. It's terrible. And I know he only played 13 minutes, but I honestly I wish he would have been in there more. Because it felt better with him on the floor. Not sure why, but it did. He was more engaged. I think that's why it felt better with him on the floor. Something else that I wanted to point out that just occurred to me. It always felt like we were behind the guys as we were defending them. And what I mean by that is, and they were doing a lot of picks, but we didn't work around the picks, and somebody else didn't pick up the next guy. Um, and we had a lot of guys like running to defend a shot, like running, like doing flybys, to defend a shot. We always felt like it felt like we were always coming from behind. We were always 2 or 3 steps behind them for what they were doing to what we needed to do to defend it. We did not look organized when we were switching, players, if they needed to switch players um, as they were defending. The offense had no semblance of any kind. Uh, Again, passing was terrible. We just look out of sorts. And we are not using Niang the way we should use Niang. Struce a little bit better. Sorry, I got pounding my hands together. Niang is a guy that should be hanging out in the corner, and you get the ball to him, and he makes the 3-pointer. I don't know what JB's got him doing, or why he's not doing that with him, but he's not doing that, and that's his strength. If you go back and you look, his strength was standing in the corner and hitting the 3-point shot. We're all over the place. I don't know if we're trying to do too much or what have you, but it looks totally disorganized. Offense, defense, doesn't matter. We are disorganized. The guys are not playing as a team. I'm seeing a lot of the guys trying to take the game into their own hands and just drive to the basket and make 2 points. And where I respect that on one hand, I'm like, no, that's not how we play this game. You have 5 people for a reason. And when you look at the games that we won last year, it was when we passed that ball around. You spread it all out and you pass that ball around. And we're not doing that because we're not taking care of the ball. We're not sharing the ball. And we're not using our 2 new guys like we should be. Even Struce, although he had 2 pretty good games as far as the stats go, I don't think we're using him to his strengths 100%. It's just the way it looks. and there is a lack of enthusiasm. There is not the closeness, the I got your back mentality that we have had the last couple of years. I know we got a lot of new guys. I realize that. And hopefully, even though we're struggling on the court right now, hopefully being away with, as a team will maybe help to galvanize some of that. But so far, I'm not seeing any of that. And like I said, the biggest thing that you see or that you don't see is you don't see the excitement off the bench for the guys when they're playing on the court. You just don't see it. Sometimes last year, the reaction of the guys was better than what happened on the court, and that is far from the truth this year. Far from what is happening this year. So I don't know. People are saying JB Bickerstaff's got to go. I don't agree with that. I do agree he needs to make some major adjustments yesterday. He needs to get this team galvanized. He needs to get this team excited to be playing and to be playing with one another. And like Donovan Mitchell said, got to figure this shit out. So those are my thoughts. I know not my normal Cavaliers excitement, but right now they're not real exciting, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer because I love my Cavs. I love my Cavs like I love my Browns, and so yeah. So all right, I am going to get going. I hope that if you are listening to this in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, that you have a good rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, day, night, etc. I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you tune in again real soon. I still owe you a podcast about our new manager for the Guardians, which I will get put together for you. So look for that one coming up, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Cleveland BCG podcast. Take care.